If it's your first time seeing me, I'm Kayla Delores and I create content around business, beauty, and lifestyle, just with lifestyle living in Orlando and wedding planning. And I do own a hair care line called Grandma's Hands Hair Care, so I create a lot of content around how to become your own entrepreneur. So if this is content that you would be interested in seeing, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And if you're liking this video, make sure you hit that like button to let YouTube know that this is a great video so they can push it in that algorithm. So on today's video, we're going to be talking about how to price your product. And this is more so for the handmade type products. Like I said, I do have a hair care line, so all of my products are handmade by myself. I don't have a distributor or a warehouse or anything like that. I hand make all of my products here from my home. So if that's something that you do, like if you have a hair care line or a skincare line, or you make handmade jewelry or anything handmade, I want to talk to you all about how to price your product to actually get a profit. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you stay watching. So I took some notes on my iPad so that I can give you all of the tips that I use and to kind of help the flow of this video. So like I said, I wanted to talk about the difference between wholesale and handmade. There's a true difference when it comes into wholesale. So say if you're a boutique owner or something, you buy your product from either China or one of the fashion boutiques at usually a very low price for a bulk amount of product, and then you're more so reselling that product and marking it up so that you can get a profit. It is a formula that goes into that, of course, with your shipping and the time it takes for you to package the product and all of that. But with handmade products, it's a very more intricate type of formula because these are handmade products. So we have to really account for the raw materials and the time that it takes to make these products. So the formula that I use for creating a price for my products is, I'm gonna go by, I'm gonna put the formula right here, and then we're gonna break the formula down of how we use it. So the formula that I use is time plus raw materials plus your overhead costs, and that's going to equal the cost of your product or cost of the creation. So we're going to go into each one by one to learn a little bit more about it, and then we'll talk about actually the profit margin at the end. And the profit margin, or your profit multiplier, that's the final price and how you're going to now make a profit off of that. Because the first formula that I gave you, the time plus raw materials plus your overhead costs equals your cost of your product. That's simply what the product costs, how much it costs you to make it. Then you have to go back and add your profit in there so that you can actually, you know, have a profitable business. So when it comes into time, which is the first part of the formula, time is a really big one that I don't think a lot of people account for, especially for handmade products, because usually when you have a handmade product, you started that business probably based off of a passion or a hobby, or it's something that you enjoy doing. So you don't really think of it as a job or as paid time like you would at an actual job. For example, if you're working with a company, they're paying you $25 an hour. That's like your hourly wage for that company. When you're running your business, you still need an hourly rate, an hourly wage. So that wage can be whatever you want to be paid as an entrepreneur for your time that you're making this product. So for instance, for me, for my time, you have to know how to pay yourself. So, you know, how long does it take you to mix that oil? I'm speaking for hair care people now, because that's what I do. So for me, I have to mix the oil, I have to package the bottles. Before I even put anything in the bottles, I have a video and I'll link it below. I steam my bottles with hot water to make sure that they're sterilized, so that's time. You know, mixing the product, putting the product into the bottles, or putting the product into what I have like a mason jar type thing to really have all of my oils mixed together. All of that is very time consuming. You may not think of it as like an actual job because you enjoy it. For instance, for me, I enjoy making my hair growth oil. I usually have some gospel music in the background. It's kind of like therapeutic, and it's more of a just enjoyment that I don't think of it as a job right now, or a time. I know it's a job because I'm creating a product that I'm selling, but it's more of an enjoyable time. But you do need to give yourself an hourly wage. So that's the time. So I have here, you have to give yourself an hourly wage, and you have to know how much you want to pay yourself and how long it takes to make this product. So one thing I would do is, when you're in the next process of batching your oils or batching your skincare, or if you make body butters or whatever, time yourself to see how long does it take to actually make that product. You can even do like 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 products to see how long does it take me to actually make this product. For instance, if you have to you know, mix, or you have to do this, like, I don't know different businesses, but if you have to mix the oils, if you have to measure each oil before you actually mix them together, all of that is time. And I would recommend maybe sitting your phone by you and timing yourself in like a time block of how long it takes to make that product. And be careful with that. Of course, you don't want to be you know, doing different things with that. That's literally just how long it takes you to make the product. So you're not on the phone, or you're not, you know, multitasking, because we do work, you know, we are business owners. Well, me, I'm still a business owner from my home. So, you know, there's times where you can get distracted, you get a phone call, or, you know, my dog will be walking to the door letting me know that he's ready to be taken out. So you can get pulled away from your business at certain aspects, but you do want to I think for starting out, learning how to price your product, that would be a really great way to see how long, and then you can go into how much you want to pay yourself for your business. That would be ultimately up to you. Next is the raw materials. This part is so important for a handmade product. Raw materials. What are your raw materials? So your raw materials are your variables that you use to make this product. So for me, my raw materials is the oil. I have a carrier oil, then I have an essential oil. Those are all raw materials. How much am I spending on that? What ounces or gallons am I buying of that? That is all raw materials. My bottles, my labels. Usually with handmade products, you have a lot of raw materials that you're using to make this one product. So especially if you have like skincare and hair care, you're mixing a lot of different raw materials to make this one great product. Like for me, I have about 6 different oils for my hair growth oils. So that's very, very important for my business. I have to account for every oil that I'm using. I have to account for every essential oil that I'm using. I have to account for those labels, the bottles, the 2-ounce bottles. So that's important. I feel like raw materials is, I won't say it's more important than the time, because I mean, without, I don't know, I mean, they're all equally important because it's a formula, but make sure you have all of the raw materials listed. I feel like you can get confused a little bit when you have so many raw materials, but what I would do, again, like you already timed yourself to make the product, but I would list out what you already should have this list out in your business plan, because if that's your product, you should have a formula of how you make your product. You should already have it listed out. But if you don't, I would list out all of the products that I use, or all of the raw materials that I use to make said product. So now you have the time and you have your raw materials. So remember, it's your time adding to your raw materials. Now we're going to add to your overhead costs. And overhead costs is, let me actually pull the definition for overhead costs really quick, because for me, you get confused with what overhead costs are. Now I do remember this because I do have my bachelor's degree in business. So I remember like overhead costs when we were like in finance and stuff. But child, when I was starting my business, I kind of forgot about a lot of that stuff from like undergrad. So I want to pull up the actual definition for overhead costs really quick here on my iPad. So it says overhead costs are those that are not directly related to the production of goods and services but are necessary for the operation of the business. So examples of overhead costs are rent or utility or insurance or legal fees, office supplies, accounting fees. Those are all that goes into your overhead cost. Overhead cost is more so for operating the business. So what I have here, your overhead costs are the expenses each month to create those products. So like I said, not directly related. So for instance, for me, Canva, I have Canva Pro. I create all my labels by myself. I don't have a printer or anything that, you know, create my labels and all of that. I create every label for my business. So I have a Canva Pro. That is an overhead cost because that's a monthly expense to have Canva Pro. Also Wi-Fi, like I use the internet to run my business every single day. There's no reason I can't get on my website without internet. For me, you can also have your rent or your home, or even if you have an office space, that goes into your overhead costs. Supplies, which can be different from raw materials, because the raw materials is like your oil, your products, your bottles, that kind of stuff. But your office supplies, more so like a printer, or more so like your computer, or like actual office supply paper. That is your overhead costs, and that will also be added into your raw materials and to your time to then get the cost of the creation. Now I'm gonna have the formula right here because it could get a little confusing, but once you do it a few times and really sit down and understand, okay, what is this product and what am I actually doing, it should come to you a little bit more naturally, especially when you're writing it down yourself. So that's the formula just for the cost of the product. That's how much it costs you to make this product. This isn't anything about profiting now. This is just, okay, with this and this, I make this product. It cost me $6 to make this product. Boom. Or $10 to make this product, whatever. That is just the product. Now, as a business owner, we're in business for a profit. We're in business for profitability, unless you're like a non-profit, which has nothing to do with this. Most of us are for-profit businesses, especially if you're a product-based business. So this is where you'll add in your profit margin or your profit multiplier. Now, one thing I do see a lot of, even online, if you try to Google different formulas, it'll automatically just say, oh, times it by 2, so that you know, get a profit of 2, like times it by 2. I wouldn't necessarily do that unless you've done research and that's what you actually, that is your profit multiplier. Now, if you're just using that formula, you could be losing out on money, especially depending on the type of business that you have. So I have here, use a value-based pricing. So what is your product worth? Are you a luxury brand? Are you a more affordable brand? This is where you can now have to go back into your business plan to see, okay, this is what my product is worth. Next, this will help you as well. Who is your target audience? And that kind of goes into like if it's your luxury brand or if you're a more affordable brand, like who is your target audience? Are you targeting college students? Because if you're targeting college students, you know, most of those products are going to be very affordable. Broke college students, you're not going to be a super high price. However, are you targeting the corporate woman who makes over 6 figures or 80,000 a year? With those type of products, you can probably have a higher profit margin because those are more a higher income. It just depends on who your target audience is. And maybe I can do a video about identifying who your target audience is, because y'all, that was a struggle for me because I kept making my target audience myself, and my target audience isn't necessarily just me. You have to create a person for your target audience, and who are you marketing this product to? And I'm going into a different tangent, so let's really back into pricing. That is very essential to pricing your product, knowing who your target audience is, because you know how much you can charge. Now also, another thing is, what is your problem? What is your product solving? So what is the problem that your product is solving? So for me, it's for people who are struggling with hair growth. They're trying to grow out their hair, they're struggling, they're not seeing any growth from other products, and I am a faith-based business. So not only am I growing out your hair, but I'm in alignment with God when it comes to my products, which is very big. It's not many products that will blatantly say, listen, this is a faith-based business, and on every bottle you'll see a scripture on it. So not only are you growing out your strands, but I want you to grow in Christ as well, to, you know, have wellness in your entire life, not wellness just in your hair. So that's my problem. That's the problem that I'm solving with my product. So that's something that you now have to ask yourself, and that goes into your business plan. So you probably already have these questions answered. You just now have to pull them and pull them when you're doing your pricing. So another thing that I have lastly to finish this off, and like I said, for the profit multiplier, with me saying all of this, you might saying, you know what, no, I don't think I should times mine by 2. I think that I'm more, you know, I don't think that 2 would be based off what you're asking of my products and my value. I think I would times it by 2.5. I think I would times it by 3 based off what you're saying. So that's when you'll do your research there, and you can use the value-based pricing. Now I also have here questions to help you find your value. Is another thing to know how much to price your product. Your packaging. Your packaging is huge. Are you using just simple poly mailers? Like, hey, they don't care about the packaging, they just want the product. Are you using the free boxes from UPS? Because UPS do give you free boxes, which I also would start with as a new business. Why pay so much for packaging? But if that's your brand, and you know, women love a good pretty package, like I still love beautiful packaging. Like, yeah, I might just be opening it, throwing it away, but it's like a little Christmas gift when I see a pretty pink box, or like how Pretty Little Thing had those cute unicorns. Like, it also give you brand identity, like, oh, I know with a blue box, that's Tiffany. Like, it does let your brand stand out. But if that's not what you're going for, then you might not care. But if you do, like, is your packaging part, oh, I have luxury packaging, so this is a luxury product. My packaging is regular, it's not a big deal, they just want to grow their hair, like, just depending on your business. Customer service is a big one. Are you on your customer service? That's huge when it comes to businesses and Black-owned businesses. What is your shopping experience? Can they reach out to someone directly to ask questions? Like, what is the shopping experience for them? So those are really great questions to ask as well when it comes to your profit margin and when it comes to your profit multiplier. You already have the base to see how much this product is gonna cost you to just make it. Now it's time to add your profit in there, your business. So at the end of the day, we're running business not only because it's a passion and we love it, but we have bills and we're here to leave a legacy for our family. So that's where you also have to be very strategic on how you price. So I hope this helped. Listen, entrepreneurship is a journey. This is something that's going to take time. This is something that you may have to look at a couple of times, and this could be different for each product. For instance, if you have a hair growth oil, but now you're coming out with a hair butter, now you have shea butter, you have different moisturizers, those are different, you know, so it's different. It could be different for every product. But I hope that this helped a little bit to get a little bit more clarity on how to price your product, especially if you make your products yourself. It is a little bit more difficult for us because we usually have a lot of raw materials that go into it, and the time, it's not just you're reselling a product or something. So yeah, I hope this helped. If you all have any questions more about this, leave a comment below. Also, if you all are interested in me doing a video about identifying who your target audience is, I can definitely do that, because when I tell you, it was a struggle for me, and I don't know why it was a struggle for me, but it definitely was until I sat down and really honed in on it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you want to be a part of our community, make sure you subscribe to us. I'm definitely have a goal this year for my subscribers. Like, it's time to ramp this channel up a little bit. So if you really like this content, please do me a favor and subscribe. It's free. Girl, please hit that subscribe button. And then of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. But I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye y'all.